Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Sarah. I have here with me Dan with the beachy background
Hello.
and Holly with the spacey background. Welcome. You can find me at sarahoxidine.com and Conversations with Sarah on Facebook. And all are welcome to come along and enjoy and talk with us and have some fun. Today, we are starting with a fresh conversation. Oh, let me give you today's date. Today's date is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. And welcome. All right. So, Holly and I started talking about when we go into our sleep realms, we're actually finding ourselves in different types of timelines. Yes. And those timelines have different rules when it comes to what we can and cannot do as human beings or as uh, beings of the universe, really. Not just human, but creation beings, right? So, Holly, would you like to start with that?
Well, I was just mentioning that for a time now, every night I have been on 2 and 3 and 4 different timelines, um, living in someone else's body, experiencing different things, and I was everything wasn't pleasant, of course. It's life elsewhere, and I was saying I'm getting to the point where I can be conscious enough to still be tapped into my sleeping self, and that I can change the storyline while I'm there. If it isn't a pleasant thing going on, I can change it. And
Yeah.
I also mentioned to Sarah and asked, when I do change it, am I creating karma for myself or the other me that I'm in? I'm assuming that's another soul fractal of mine in a different dimension that I popped into. But and that I'm learning that I can cohabitate my current consciousness with their consciousness, and really make significant changes, small or large, depending on what's needed. But it's been very busy nights, very busy nights.
Okay.
And I certainly don't go to sleep with the intention of doing these things.
Of
So,
course. We're just experiencing as we go along.
yes. I even wonder if I'm not, who's orchestrating these visits? Is my higher self saying, okay, we're going to go here, here, and here tonight?
Yes.
Or is the other me calling for me? If they're calling for help and I'm the one particular soul fractal that gets put to work that night to help that soul fractal's issues. So, oh, I just had a thought.
Yes, there is.
An awakening. It's
Of course.
my soul is being a higher self to them.
Yes. Yes, you discovered
Double.
it right for yourself in the moment.
Oh goodness, I love those. I
Yeah.
answer my own questions. I love it.
So the first question you had was about the idea of being able to manifest, and does that affect the karma because of your manifest?
Your
Oh,
audio went away. Your audio just completely stopped. We can't hear you, not a bit.
Now?
Better?
I heard ow.
Okay.
Now you're back. All right, now your audio's
The
back.
answer to your question is only if you wish to have karma. That's the answer.
Oh.
Um,
And why would anybody want to do that? Why would anybody wish to have
well,
karma?
because you don't know your power yet. Okay. So Cryon, it's a channeled being.
Right?
And he has spoken about this some 10 years back, and he keeps repeating that humanity can make a decision for themselves. Each human can make a decision for themselves to drop karma.
Hmm.
Now, that's what we can do for ourselves. We don't do that for other people. It's a choice. Okay. The second idea is that what does manifestations in a reality do for the being that you're in or for the beings around them? And the answer is for the being that you're in, it does everything. For the beings around you, it does nothing. So think about your reality right now. In your reality, you're constantly manifesting things that are just for you. Yes. And the effect that it may have on another is what they choose, whatever effect your choices will make for them. But that's not your job. Your job is just to affect what choices you make for yourself. And those ideas have a way of manifesting themselves and creating things that you wish or desire for. Okay. So we really need to step into our power now and understand that we are actually here on earth at this time to make certain manifestations occur for us and the people around us, in the idea that we are here to help the human collective raise their vibrations and become more of what they've been for the past 5,000 years. Okay. So we will have that sort of karmic effect ripple out from us at some point when we decide to do the collaborations, when we decide to do uh, business ventures together or um, global ideas. Those will have multiple effects all around and within us. But for now, when we do personal manifestations, there's no, there's not really a karmic effect that will have any type of negative reverberations to ourselves or to anyone unless we are in a vibration that would allow for that to happen. So I'm saying we get to choose what vibration we're in first. And then, depending if your vibration can raise high enough, long enough, you're able to manifest the things that you desire for yourself. And those things will not have a karmic effect. Karma is actually a third dimensional slash all the way up to the fourth dimensional idea. But when you're learning about your capabilities as a manifester, you need those different realities to teach yourself how to manifest without causing problems for yourself and others. Okay, does that make any sense?
Yes, that it's always for the highest good of all.
It's always for the highest good of all. And so we are teaching ourselves in our dream time or when we're in other realities how to do this in a safe manner. And understand our higher selves are not going to give us a power to do something that will harm that will cause harm to us or to other people around us. Okay. So that's just something that we really don't have to worry about at this time. However, we are stretching our capabilities, our new DNA technology. We are stretching, it's kind of like the exercise you do. You do mental exercises, you do physical exercises. These are the our physical technological exercises that we are doing now. So we're learning to manifest with awareness and not just haphazardly like we've been doing in the past, right?
Yeah.
And when you're manifesting with awareness, you're not doing things that would be nefarious to yourself or to others. You're doing things that are for the highest good of all, like you said. So,
And causing no harm.
causing no harm to yourself or to others. Dan, would you like to step in and have your say in this too?
No, I think you're doing just fine.
Okay. Because Dan likes to talk about a lot of things because he has a different perspective, and I like to include everybody's perspective. Yes. So that's how I'm feeling it out at this time. I've seen some of the most beautiful manifestations, these ideas, and an idea will occur to me, I'll get emotion about it and I'll feel through it. And then, the next day or the next week or the next month, however long it takes me to vibrate along to a certain idea, it occurs. Whether I understand how it does or not, I've become a very powerful manifester. And it's had not karmic intentions, but it's had soulful intentions for me and everyone else I meet during those processes. So that's how I see it. Any other question?
I woke up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I had a busy night. I think I went to 4 different timelines. And I was thinking of, last night speaking with the Andalusian higher self, and my brain was cranking all night long. And then by morning, I wake up. I don't think I slept deep all night. Thinking, okay, so I'm reaching outside of myself to speak with the Andalusian and different aspects of beings I know. And for some reason, what came to mind, what I woke up thinking was, why have I not spoken with my own soul fractal within this body? Why have I not it's one thing to connect with your angel, your guides, your ancestors, higher selves, but I can't ever remember connecting with the piece of soul in this body, animating this body in its fullness. I have never connected to it or spoken to it personally, a one-on-one conversation. And it was just a strange thought, it just didn't even cross my mind until this morning. And the other, just talking to the Andalusian higher self last night, he brought up a few different things, and he mentioned how unusual my blood was, and about me being a part of the lineage, but then he had mentioned that he said it in such a way that made me think I don't act at all like the love lineage way of doing things. And then he mentioned Nevaeh, my planet and what we do there and how I've worked out a system to heal whole races of people. And he seemed, maybe it was because he said that made me think about the soul within me, that portion in its fullness that I've never connected to. And I sat myself down this morning for a minute trying to connect to it, and I didn't do it. Didn't happen. So, what are your thoughts on that? And have you ever done it with your soul in its fullness, in its its own consciousness?
So if I have one thing to tell you, because um, you say you don't know and you don't feel that you're part of this love lineage, honey. You have so much love in you. Is how do you not
Well,
know
I know I'm from there. You just said it was more of an intonation that I didn't act like they typically act.
Okay.
Better, different, unique is more how he put it. But that wasn't my biggest point. It just got me thinking
Yeah.
about the soul in this body and how come I never spoke to it before?
Well, you probably just never had a thought to do so before, and now you have.
Until this morning.
And make strides, and you can make steps forward to do so. But that doesn't mean that you can't.
Oh yes,
And it
yes. And that's one thing I have taught myself is I don't put any limits on anything. I believe anything's possible. Um, so I don't
it doesn't
limit.
mean that you haven't, because look at how you behave to yourself and to those around you. Look at how you speak to people. Look at how your first thought, when people come to you with a question, your first thought is to listen, and then it is to heal. That is all you and all part of your soul. How can you say you've never been in contact with it when you have such connection to it? It's
Well,
just your perception about how you connect to it is
yes.
in a way that you want physicality, you want texture, you want
Words.
soul
I
being.
want to have a conversation with it, just like I'm talking to you.
I know.
I know it's
But
possible. I
you
know it has a consciousness, just like I'm talking now.
but you communicate with it in other ways.
Different ways than what I'm used to.
Yes. So we have our other, what they call five senses. But hello, Dawn. Welcome. We have our, what we were told about five senses, but we also have another one, and another, and another. And a lot of these senses that we were not told about, like sensory, like energetic senses, like electromagnetic senses. We have a lot of senses that we don't really discuss in our everyday understanding of capability, our telepathic senses, right? You see what I'm saying? And so, welcome back, Kimmy. And so you've been using other senses to connect with your higher self that you haven't really solidified the fact that those are other ways of communication. You do it every day when you make a sound. You do it every day when you smile. You do it every day when you are listening to the inner thoughts. You do it every day when you are feeling around you. And even though those may not be verbal or textual conversations, you're constantly connecting with your higher self and your soul self. So don't be so hard on yourself saying, I never connected to my soul self. I never had a conversation with my higher self. When in fact, you do it every day. It's just with other types of sensory input that you're not aware that are actually sensory inputs. Okay? So relax, be easy on yourself, really. You're connecting all the time. It's just in a different manner.
Thank you, Sarah, and whatever part of Sarah just channeled that lovely message.
You're welcome. Yes.
I love that about you.
And do you know the being that has partnered with me to give you that message is part of your higher self too?
I had a feeling. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bless you. It was beautiful.
Yes. So
I
just
think I am going to try, though, to see if I can't get Rob to just channel me.
uh-uh.
Can't
You.
I do that?
Yes, you. You can do it for yourself.
It's just more fun to talk with somebody else, you know.
But you have a telepathic communication now that you can use.
True.
Train yourself to use it.
Yes. Yes, I've been doing that with other beings. It's been doing getting much better, getting much better.
And you can
And,
do it for yourself. You can use him as a permission slip. But you can also begin to train yourself, your body, your sensory inputs to do it for you.
I'll
See,
work
I
on
don't
that.
have another person around me to do it for me. So I connecting personally all the time. And I learned so much more from that than trying to get someone else outside of me to do it, because
Ah,
if I try to do that to do it that way, I'll never learn anything.
okay. So as I'm getting information, like you're saying, that when I do that myself, through that telepathic communication also comes informational packets, like little downloads,
You know that one.
instantly,
Mm-hmm.
that I wouldn't receive if it was if that consciousness was running through another person. It would be very much a 3D type connection, just verbally speaking with it through another person. But as I'm speaking to myself telepathically, my consciousness telepathically, it raises it to a much higher frequency um, connection with all of the benefits within that um, realm.
Yes, yes. There are more benefits for you to do it for yourself than to try to do it from an outside person. There are more learning packets that you will receive. to do it yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, he's there, lovely being, he's there, but you will gain more knowledge and wisdom of yourself than to try to do it from an outside person.
Very good. Learned a lot. It's great conversation. Everybody needs to hear this. This is important stuff.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level.
Blessings to Dawn. Welcome. And would you like to chime in on this conversation, or do you have anything to say to the topic?
No. I do speak my light language as well.
Yes. Yes. And you can use light language to speak to your higher selves as well, just so you know.
I have talked to my higher self in a channeling. Not that I talked to him all that often. He was very surprised that I hardly ever talked to him face to face or one on one.
Yeah. That's why I said that you can use your other senses to speak to your higher self, and you do it all the time. It's just, it's not as textual as an actual conversation, like she was saying. She wants to have someone to have a physical conversation. And what you're going to learn, it's more of mental telepathy with your higher self.
Well, I do a lot of that at work, and I do a lot of various light languages at the same time, which is perfect in my job because nobody understands what the hell I'm saying.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. So you can connect with your higher self all the time. It's just making the decision and having the awareness that you're doing so.
Mhm.
So now you're working with your awareness. Yes,
Mhm.
Holly? You're muted.
Yes.
Working with your awareness that you're doing so, because you are doing so constantly.
That's so huge. Tapping into all that's around us just to get the awareness, that connection through awareness, and then you take off running. That's like, what did you call it? The permission slip? The
Yes.
awareness is like the permission slip to go in that direction. Like you think of that like a drawing of a sun with all of its little rays, and
Yes.
we're the sun. So when we get to that awareness, it makes a new ray, and then we can shoot off in that direction.
Exactly.
Although we're all shooting off in all directions at the same time, but it just adds a whole nother ray of focus.
That is correct.
Visual.
So we're constantly doing this. It's just, are we aware of it? So yeah. Kimmy and Dan, do you have anything to say to this conversation? And you're both muted, by the way.
No, nothing to add. I'm just kind of coasting today.
Yeah. Kimmy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciated what's been shared. I got a lot out of it. But I don't have much to share on the situation, but I'm definitely listening. So thank you guys.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I like to discuss, I call it physical technology. And physical technology basically are the things that we have in our DNA that we are rediscovering that we can do, like telepathy, like healing, like energetic awareness with nature, like, there are many things I can name here. And those are all part of physical technologies that we're rediscovering. And so I wonder if anybody has a story of using their physical technology, uh, in their everyday lives. Don,
To the trees,
to the trees. Yes.
talking to the waves, the ocean,
Yes, the waves, the
talking to
sea,
the wind.
the wind. Yes.
I love a good storm.
Yes, the storms. I get like this crazy electrical energy going through me
Very
when a
much,
storm
very much.
first starts. And it makes me excited. I run to the window and I say, oh my God, there's a storm. Hello, clouds. Hello, lightning. Hello. I talk to all the beings, the rain. And, it's very, it's like happiness almost. And you
Very much,
sense
very
it
much.
with all the hairs of your body, and you sense it with your energetic, your auric field. And it's like a whole different type
It's a,
of,
it's a high.
it's a high almost, like, oh my God, feel the energy of the rain beginning and starting itself. Like, I remember one time I literally felt the season change. And I got so excited. I smelled it in the air for the first time in awareness. And it was as if I knew that the seasons were changing, and I was part of it.
Mhm.
Has anybody ever had that type of feeling before?
Fall. That is my season, evidently, because I can smell it. One day it's not there, and the next day it is. Fall. The smell of fall
Yes.
and the
Sudden,
energy of it.
sudden temperature change for sure.
Yes. And then it's
This
like,
was all smell.
yeah.
I can't put a name on it, but it's a combination of all kinds of different smells. And I did open my front door this morning before I came up here to the office, and I invited in the wind and the sun and nature and the energy of it. And if the wind didn't just come right out of nowhere and come in the door and swirl around me, it was so wonderful, and I just let it all in. Come on in.
Yeah.
Just for a minute, and it's added a lovely energy to the house for today's activities.
Yes. For me, it's spring. When
Spring
spring,
too. It's been a long time since I've smelled or felt the energy of spring. It's been years and years and years.
well, some people say in Miami we only have summer and spring.
Yes, I forgot you're down there.
So I kind of got used to the changes when it turns from that heat to the summer to the nice and cooling down of the spring, and you can smell the breeze with the moisture in the air coming through, and it's cooler and it feels crisp in the air. Uh, when I sense it, it's like my entire body just like gets really excited.
Absolutely. It kind of, when you first mentioned that, it brought my memory back to you were staying at Will's house in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and you sat on the back porch, and for the first time, the both of you saw cloud people.
Yes. So what happened is I was visiting, and there was a blackout in the entire neighborhood. There was a blackout. And we were just coming from a busy, busy day of exploring into nature. And we put on the candles inside the house, but he had just moved into the place, so it didn't really have air conditioning. So we were forced to go outside, right? And then I started feeling into the energy of the place. And I began singing in a Lemurian language and doing the hand movements, and I was doing something and I had no idea. It's just, it felt right. And then I look up when I finished the song, and there was this huge cloud with eyes, nose, and mouth in the clouds. And I looked up and I pointed, and Will looks up and we're like, there's a face in the clouds, a literal face in the clouds. And I go, hi, hi. And I can almost feel it speak inside me. And I don't know what it said because I was just experiencing it for the first time. But then we began to see a procession of clouds, all with faces, real faces. I don't know if any of you guys ever seen Star Trek: The Next Generation. There's an episode where there's a nebulae in space. It's called Megillah or something or other, and it was like just eyes, nose, mouth in this nebulae, and it was speaking through this nebulae. And that's how it was when I saw those cloud beams. And for an hour, because it took them an hour to turn back on the lights for the entire neighborhood. For an hour, there were processions of cloud beings just floating over. And you could see it so clearly because there were no lights, just floating over us. And we just kept saying, hi, hi. So yeah, that was such a wonderful experience. I thought, I really need a camera for these days. Because it would be hard for people to understand that cloud beings actually exist. So it would have been perfect to have a camera there, just recording this procession of cloud beings. And they were moving quite swiftly because it was a good breeze that day. And they were all just coming through like a pageant, right? So yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
I know I was really excited to have you tell me about it. It was my first awareness of such a being. So that was really exciting. It was I don't know, a few years after that, my soul saved Nadians. They're called Nadians. You know like that I think it was Brahms' lullaby, sailing off to the land of Nod.
Is this Indian Pantheon?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I really don't know. I don't know.
They talk about the nadis. Those are different energetic points in the body.
Oh no, these are a race.
This is a race.
And they're like very similar to what you described. Oh. And they were actually captured and imprisoned in human dreams state. By the cabal, I believe. They were forced, like you'd heard that phrase, counting sheep counting clouds in your sleep kind of thing. That's where they were. They were imprisoned in our dream state somehow.
Is that a
And
human conception?
this is what they told me. They have a leader, and I somehow was called to free them from that realm. And I actually took them all to Nevaeh, and they went through the healing center, and the leader had gone first. So I went back to check on them, and that's when I spoke with him, and he was like a cloud being. Like, I just saw the upper half of him, and he was very much like a cloud, a white cloud, and they're like the clouds in the sky now there in Nevaeh. But that's what he told me, that's they were called Nadians, and that they had been imprisoned, and I somehow got them free and gave them a new home to stay in.
Well, good job on that one.
My higher self was busy.
Well, there you go. There's another example of how you were already connecting to your higher self and you weren't aware of it. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
So that's another awareness for everyone listening,
Yeah.
that there are such a thing, and that's what they were called.
Yes. You
They
see?
were trapped in our dreams state.
Well, I'm looking at the word trapped, and that has a lot of connotation to it.
Well, I'd have no idea how long they'd been there, but they did say, I believe, that it was the cabal who captured them, at least that group, and they weren't able to get out until I came.
Okay. That's probably because you had the code or frequency.
Yes, I don't know the hows or why. I just did. They're happy. They're very happy.
Welcome, Harris. Yeah, so that's an awesome story. I love it. So anybody else has a story they would like to share of using their physical technology? Don and Dan and Kimmy and Harris, welcome. You're muted. All right. So physical technologies, telepathy. Has anyone felt like they've used telepathy for themselves or another person around them? Have you used that technology?
Yeah, I do that all the time. It's usually about the time they pop into my head and I go, oh, there's so and so. I haven't thought about them. Oh, I wonder what they're doing. And then my phone will ring. Guess who it'll be?
That person.
It'll be that person. Oh. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the heads up, Spirit. Didn't know I had a spiritual answering service going on. And that happens a lot. So they'll call me on the phone and say, oh, perfect timing. And I'm like, why? It's well, because you just popped in my head like 2 minutes ago, and here you are. So that happens just all the time.
Yeah.
Or somebody's name will pop in my head, and if they don't call, then I'll go. Okay, what's going on with them? Let me go see what's going on. I'll go check on them. Go check on them on Messenger. Say, hey, what are you doing over there? What are you doing? Because there's ripples in the force, right? It's like, all right, what's going on with you? Oh, I got this going on, got that going on. All right, well, all right. Call me when you're not busy or whatever, or if I can help you get through it, get through it. But yeah, so all the time, literally almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
Holly,
I
you
get
can
that a lot with my mom.
with your mom.
We often end up calling each other at the same moment or really close. We'll be thinking each other, I was just going to call you, or dialing at the same moment. My grandma, too. I used to do that a lot with the three of them, or all three of us.
That's wonderful. I did that with my friend Crystal the other day. I had a thought about her because she works, well, she used to work at a hospital. And just like that, and I hadn't thought of her for almost 5 years because I had been traveling the world and whatnot. And it just came to me, oh my God, Crystal, I have to talk to her and see how she's doing. Um, and I called her up, left a text message, and then she called me back. And we had a wonderful conversation. And she says, do you know what? I was just asking to speak to somebody who can make me laugh and make me smile with good vibration. I called for that this morning. That's what she told me. I said, well, I'm here now. And so apparently she put out a call and I felt it. And I answered that call and she was able to connect with me later on that evening. After 5 years. You're muted, Holly.
Oh, I was just saying awesome. That's I love those synchronicities
Yeah.
as they occur.
Yeah. Don, you had
Needed.
something?
I just want to say that I had a call early part of 2017. A call for help, actually, about 2 o'clock in the morning. It came from Raoul the Elder, the planet of Sagaya.
Oh, can you talk up a little bit?
Okay. See, I got a call. Is that better?
Uh-huh.
Okay. This came to me at about 2 o'clock in the morning of the 28th of January, 2017. I keep a day log on Facebook. And I started it basically then because this was an unusual case and was my first. I figured, oh, hell, I got to record these in some way of jotting them down. So I do them in a day log on Facebook. Anyway, the call is to help restore the planetary consciousness named Aranda of the planet Sagaya in the Arisanas star system. And it took me 5 days to get her back into a consciousness state. I finally used an AM radio signal of a radio station that their motto used to be, we play music that changed the world. They played music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And then 6 months later, they were gone. But I used an AM radio signal sent telepathically 2 galaxies away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'd like to learn more about that because
Okay.
soon that technology will be available for everyone. I've heard many channelers say that we will have some sort of akin to a radio that will be able to do that sort of thing
Mm-hmm.
in the next 10 years. So I look forward to it. But right now, we can use our physical technology to do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many times, even while channeling, I get connected to a being all across, way out there in space, like all the way over to Sirius or the Pleiadians. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I have conversations with them with my physical awareness
Mhm.
instead of object. And so these are just different ways we can use it. Like you say, you receive that call and say, hey, I need some help, or hey, I need to connect in this way for this reason.
Mhm.
Uh, we're becoming more of ourselves, standing more in our power, and that's part of our power. And so thank you for sharing that.
I'll send you the video link.
Thank you.
I was interviewed, okay, at that time I began waking up in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
By 2017, I was a little more aware and capable of manifesting anything in the etheric level. What I did was I placed a pyramid of love, filled with love and children's laughter. And it had louvers on it. As soon as I manifested it in the space above Sagaya, the planet went into lockdown. The beings that were on the planet at the time were plasma level. And they didn't want to relinquish control. The beings were also spider-like robots. This is what my remote viewer told me. And my remote viewer at that time recorded, but she could see what I was doing. And I was just totally green at this. And I didn't know what I could do. So I just did all sorts of various manifestations. It was kind of interesting in one sense that I had shields around the earth, okay, towards the end, because I have a friend in Candace Craw Goldman, and she relayed to me that people were getting all these strange illnesses at one point in time. About two or 3 days in, and I figured, oh, I put shields around me, but I didn't put any shields around the planet. So I modified the shielding around the Earth using light shields. And then I also added silver platinum shields towards the end, because the beings were trying to literally suck the life out of me to cause me to go to sleep. And sleep, if you go to sleep, you're done for, because they'll literally suck the energy right out of you. But I repelled the magic back at them.
Okay.
And I'll send you the video link on that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It was
Okay.
just a little 30-minute radio show that my remote viewer recorded.
Mm-hmm. Well, at that time in the, let's say before 2012, and as we were becoming more awakened towards 2015 and 16, it was very necessary for a lot of light workers to understand that they needed shields.
Merkabas.
Yeah, Merkabas, or using the idea of shields for protection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I feel this within my heart, I feel that now the idea of shielding is not as necessary as it was before. And I say that because when you get into the idea of shielding, you are protecting yourself from something.
Mm-hmm.
There's an idea there You need the shield to protect yourself against something.
Mhm.
And when you have that idea as a manifester, you
Mhm.
have to be very careful
Mhm.
because you're looking for a light frequency or a great outcome.
Mhm.
But in the process, because you have this idea of needing to shield, you're also having the idea of a bad outcome happening at the same time. So you have the polarities of the two.
I have that now. Yes, I have that awareness now. I don't need any shields now.
Exactly. Because in trying to shield yourself, you're creating polarity instead of
Mhm.
oneness. And the oneness is the desire that you have and what you're intentioning to create.
Mhm.
So we're going past the idea of polarity at this time to
Mhm.
create that oneness, and we must have a focus with our desires at this time to
Mhm.
create harmony and balance and create and manifest the things that we are looking to create here. And so I just wanted to put that out there that when creating something, when connecting to energies, to have your focus, your intention without the old necessary idea of shielding
Mhm.
in the process. Does that make sense?
Mhm. 100%.
Yes, Holly.
I would just that was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful message.
Good.
I also had an occurrence that has to do with that concept is there was a new part of me that came to my awareness, and I had some interactions with her. But then I had some things happen where I was blocking, and I remember one day thinking, why can't I connect with her? I want to connect with her, and I heard telepathically, you blocked me out. You have to, invite me in, and, you've
Yeah.
shielded out everything. So you can over shield in your fear and block out, like you said, the very things that you want to connect with. We're that powerful that we can just put a black box around us, basically, that nothing can penetrate if we overdo it.
The truth is, you penetrate yourself in the shielding idea. That's the truth.
Yes.
So we have to get to the point where we are comfortable and confident within ourselves uh, to focus in our desires of our manifestations. And so you won't be penetrating yourself. You don't become your worst enemy. Yes?
Yes.
Are shielding yourself and everybody a favor by not putting up shields any longer. So
Yes. I'm getting thoughts even now, like nature and certain beings
yeah,
have wanted to come to me and haven't been able to because of it. I'm
yes,
getting that message right now that that's why I haven't connected, because they couldn't. I blocked myself.
shields.
Yep.
You see, nature herself doesn't care for blockages. You see that plant or that flower that can grow even in concrete, when the concrete surrounds them and layers on top of them, and they still grow and shoot up right out of the concrete.
Yes.
Nature doesn't care for blockages. She accepts all.
Bless her heart.
Yes. So we are part of nature, and we can attain much more of our physical powers. And I say physical now because they are manifested and manifesting within our DNA. So we can use those as part of nature. Natural
Awesome.
resources, we can participate as being a part of them, you see. But if you have all these shields and blockages, you won't receive those messages that you can do so.
Yeah. I think the main point is to keep your frequency, your vibration as high as possible so shielding won't be needed.
Yes, so it's a lot to ask a human to stay in one vibration. We have our ups, we have our downs, we have our crisscrosses. But it's meant to be in that way. But if you can find a place through meditation, through listening to music, through dance, through swimming, through running, if you can find a place to attain a balance, a natural vibration for you, not just that it has to be high, but balanced. And it balances both the frequencies of the highs and the lows. And so you stay in a neutral state, and the neutral state is pretty high by itself. Yes. And so if you can attain that balance for yourself, then you're able to connect easier with everything around you when it comes to nature, or when it comes to humans or animals, or even rocks and trees. So attaining a balance, what makes you happy, what gets you in that, perky mood, what gets you excited about life, that balance. So I'm not one to tell people you have to remain in a high vibrational state. If you stay in that state, that really, really high state, becomes very boring after a while. You see, even that, yes. And so we have to just find where we are comfortable and balanced in our intentions, in our bodies. How are we feeling every day? Okay. I can't hear you, Holly.
Just perfect. Perfect
Yes.
advice.
Yes. Hey, Harris, you there?
Hey, I'm right there. I just got a lot of noise where I'm in. A lot of family members talking to other family members. Let me try to get to somewhere else.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Oh, wow. Awesome. Yes. So balance is quite important. Yeah. So that was a great topic. Uh, other types of physical technologies anybody knows? No? Okay. So today we've discussed telepathy. We've discussed connection with nature, attaining balance, the idea of manifestation and karma. And if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns about any of these topics, please feel free to comment below, or to comment on the the page on Facebook. We enjoy having everyone watching us and feeling with us. um, if you have any other ideas of physical technologies that you're discovering within yourself, please put them there and we can have a conversation about that as well uh, in the
Can
coming
I
sequences. Yes, Harris?
uh, can I maybe say one thing? Thank you all so much for sharing. I've been
Yeah.
benefiting a lot from the ambience and the environment. I wanted to say one thing about telepathy that I kind of I'm noticing or realizing due to the fact of truth that we are so highly connected, vibrational, and that vibrational connection is really strengthening at this point as the Gaia, the environment of Gaia is very magical and strengthening at this point, whereby when you clear out, because we're all kind of like mechanisms, like radio, like he's saying, that's what we are. We're sending out and we're receiving. So when you clear out that station that you are, then you're able to really, really receive and send out whatever you feel. Uh, whatever you feel about whoever comes to your mind, it actually gets to them. It's deposited at their whatever. How do you say their frequency? uh, and when they kind of clear up their field, they are able to receive that. Now we have the environment that is helping us to do that much more effectively and efficiently now. So you're sharing a lot of people. I was thinking about you. I felt this, and then you called, and so the signals, people are clearing up themselves to actually receive this signal. So I just wanted to say I've realized a lot of that happening as well. So it gives us the proof that we are that connected. We are actually the same source, the same thing, in different stations. So that helps us to unify more. I just wanted to add that. And thank you very much. I'm just gonna keep listening. If anything else comes up on other topics, I would say. I know I'm in a very noisy place. I'm doing like 5 things at the same time, but I've always missed it, and I just want to get into this one, at least one of it. So thank you so much for doing this, Sarah, and all of you, Dan, Dawn, and Holly. I love you all.
I love you too, Harris. Thank you for coming. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. It's perfect. All right. And I think we've had a lot of topics today. And so we're going to end it here. If anybody would like to do a blessing, um, yes, Don and Holly. Harris as well. Guru Dan, if you're still there. Yes. So who would like to start?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
You'll have to give me your feeling as to where do you think it's coming from. Perhaps even what it means would be awesome. Hachasikia shasanagyachana siyananotia charan chakanama aikitsi achisikia shasananamasa ina kicha. Anayana shisitikia shasanikachanama asikijana ikachana alinya mayani sashisia kachananama iki. And namaste. Blessings to all.
Namaste. That's a Syrian language. Yes. Holly, you read it.
I was just saying again, it's really coming to the forefront, I guess, with me for some
Yes.
reason.
Yes. And I felt a little bit of Egyptian there, like early Egyptian pantheon,
Okay.
like ancient, like the ancient Egyptian pantheon in there. So,
Well, I'm going to have to investigate why that language keeps coming to the forefront these days.
well, you have Syrian in your blood.
That I do. That I do. Sirius, Syrian.
Sirius, the star system.
Mm-hmm.
Sirius.
I don't know much more about that, but
Yes.
actually, I have a hybrid in Reticulum 2, on Reticulum 2.
Oh,
That's
okay.
in the Sirius system, I believe.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually have 4, but I've only met one.
Yeah. I have a couple
Okay,
myself.
I'll mute me.
All right, Don.
Okay, thank you. And if you happen to know who's coming through, that'd be great. Okay, I'll try this. Uyannakshe, tasanawaiskakash, tiantokosh nanahi, siawantaka osh, nanayaka, aliantos mahasi, tiantosh mahanda, tara osh manahai, kasha ante ikeshe, wantahamba havus, aliantashk nahoko, ara arkush nihasiye, ushnaha, tianto ushnania, tiala onama. Zia akantush mahayatiska torakashi tiena mahus nahai wanta sa terimo sa yamuka sha akrish mahishte tiantakushte alevanta siante tuma.
Don, I actually, when you started speaking, I saw a face of a Hathor.
Well, I don't know what a Hathor is.
Well,
Sarah does.
I do. The Hathors are very well known in Egypt. They have pyramids and statues and temples dedicated to the goddess Hathor. There are actually many different temples around the world or pyramids dedicated to her. Um, and the Hathors they have both male and female counterparts. And we're familiar with the female counterpart here on Earth for the most part. Um, but they are the ones who brought the technology of sound to Earth. Huh? You said something, Holly?
I said, hence the big ears shown, you know, the like horns, ear horns coming out of their.
They're seen
Thank
to
you.
be connected to what some people call the cow or the horns of the cow. It's like the sun and the moon in the depiction. Uh, but they are very lovely beings. She's known to be the goddess of birth, love, compassion. Uh, she has a lot of titles and interesting things under her name. So she's pretty awesome. But what I was getting from the language itself was a bit of Lyrian, Syrian, from Syrian from Egypt, that is, from Sirius star, Egypt. So I was getting a mixture of the Lyrian Syrian type of idea. But there were Hathors in Egypt who were speaking with the Syrians and the Lyrians there. So they have a lot of different species in the Egyptian pantheon. So that it would make sense that there have been hybrids of languages there. So that was like a hybrid language. I was feeling like there was a third, and the third would have been Pleiadian. So it's like a tribrid language that you were just speaking. So yeah,
I speak a few languages.
Yeah, you do. It's a choice.
More than three, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. There's so many languages, it's ridiculous. So
I was
yeah,
I was I was channeling. I don't know if you know of a being by the name of Mayagor.
no, you're
It
gonna have to
was
tell me about that.
okay. Well, that was Mayagor. It was an end closing blessing. I'm a moderator on Ukolo TV on YouTube,
Oh,
and this was a channeling group uh, from last Saturday, and I gave an opening blessing and a closing blessing in two different languages, um, which is just I'd never had a ability to speak languages, okay, light languages. That it was blocked from me, and actually I knew of an angel that helped me unlock that, and
wonderful,
now I speak all the languages,
wonderful.
including dragon.
Yes, I love it. Love all the languages. Harris, do you have a blessing you would like to share?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for asking. I will um, have a blessing of frequency. Um, Namaste.
Namaste. Awesome. What is that? Rose quartz?
Namaste. Yeah, another Rose. We keep naming all of them Rose, Rosemary, Roxanne, all the roses. Ah,
Awesome.
well,
Thank you.
May
All
I add
right.
something about the crystals? Have you ever grow a garden? Have you ever placed crystals in the garden?
No, not for me,
Okay,
but
well,
I
if
found
you
them in gardens.
yeah, okay, well, what you do is to program a crystal and place it. And how you program a crystal is to hold it in your hands. You can tone it. You can do anything you wish to, but you're setting your intention into it. And what you do is you place the thought of light or almost like water flowing directly into the crystal. And you put love in there, and you put bounty or bountiful uh, projection of energy into that crystal. And that way you're programming the crystal. You set that in your garden, and your garden will flourish without fertilizer. It
Beautiful. I
does
love
away with
it.
all fertilizers.
Yes. We're going to be using that technology soon too.
Mhm.
Don't you worry. You're using it right now, but it's going to be on a massive scale.
I want it on a massive scale.
It's going to be on a massive scale. Yes, love it. Um, I would like to do a blessing as well before we close out. And so, Namaste. That one just popped out and she was ready to go.
Was that Octurian by any chance? Yay!
Yay.
Arcturian and another one. Arcturian Pleiadian.
Cool.
I could feel the healing energy from the Octurian. Thank her for me. Actually, I'm thanking her right now. That was very useful for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, yes. Dan, did you want to do one?
No, I'm good. No, we're good.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us. You can find us at Conversations with Sarah on Facebook or here on YouTube. We are having events every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And you can also find me at sarahoxidine.com. If you're looking for sessions, you can order one there and we can have an appointment. So thank you all for joining. I love you. I love you. I love you. Namaste.